This year, for the very first time, we have a prize for research, for the productivity of the faculty. And I'm very pleased to announce that the winner of the first prize is a beloved member of this faculty, Professor Leila Fawaz, for her book, A Land of Aching Hearts, The Middle East in the Great War. Leila Fawaz.
Thank you so much to Dean Stavridis, our academic dean, Steve Block, our distinguished guest, General Dunford, and all of you for bringing us together and giving me the honor to speak to you today in the name of our faculty. Thank you to Dean Jerry Sheen and the rest of the Fletcher School administration and staff for organizing this wonderful convocation. Most of all, we welcome you, our students, and rejoice in your arrival and your presence. In a school with such splendid leadership, brilliant faculty, extraordinary staff, exciting and promising student body, to be awarded the first Faculty Research Award is just amazing, at least to me. I'm immensely grateful to the Fletcher School Academic Council for selecting me for this huge honor when so many others among our colleagues qualify for it. In fact, any of my colleagues in this audience could be on this stage instead of me. I am so replaceable here. It reminds me of a joke attributed to a folk hero called Jiha in the Arab world and called Nasreddin Hoxha in Turkey. Almost every culture has its own Jiha and Nasreddin, representing the common people attitudes and social behavior. These practical jokes and naive adventures immortalize the spirit of the people. As one story goes, Nasreddin Hoxha, teacher, was invited to give a talk to a big audience in his hometown. He arrived to the lecture hall, went up to the podium, and asked the audience, "Do you know what I'm going to talk to you about?" The audience shouted no. So he said, "Since you do not know what I'm going to say, why should I bother?" And he left and went home. The audience was upset, and they arranged to invite him again and prepared this time for his question. When he came back, he asked them, "Do you know what I'm going to talk to you about?" The audience shouted yes. So he said, "Since you know what I'm going to say, you do not need to hear me." And he left and went home. The audience then arranged again to invite him and prepared again for his question. When he came back, he asked them, "Do you know what I'm going to talk to you about?" Half the audience screamed yes, and half the audience screamed no. So he said, "Let those who know tell those who don't." And he went home. Humor is one way peoples of all cultures try to survive the challenges life throws their way. In the Middle East, in the midst of great suffering, such as those of the First World War, which I wrote about, the Second World War, and all the others in between and after, and today, in the face of international, regional, local wars and civil wars, people's endurance has been admirable. Almost a century of instability, weak or bad government, authoritarian regimes, militarized parties, politicized armies, and more. Almost a century of all that has not eliminated the spirit of people, but simply pushed them to focus on home and on their own circles, rather than expect them to change the broader world they live in. In the same way, decades of factional politics have destroyed centuries of coexistence and replaced them with intolerance for the other. But people still strive at survival and at managing what they can control around them. When one looks at the Middle East today and at the misery of what is unfolding, it is important to remember that there are still heroes and honorable people in it. Real heroes are not necessarily those with power or money, but those with resilience, those who never give up and continue to hope for a better future, a more reasonable leadership, and solutions to the disasters around them. They continue to believe in education, in a future that could bring stability and prosperity to their families. This is why so many among us continue to teach and to believe that we can learn even from areas of violent conflict and that from those who do not give up but continue to improve their lot and that of their peoples, sometimes against all odds and despite the indifference of rich states around them, despite the cruelty of factions and fanatics who believe their cause is superior to all others. If we took more time looking at the lives and experiences of those who did not contribute to destruction, but despite all odds strived to make a better world for their loved ones, we will discover that there are many small heroes who never give up and deserve our empathy and respect. Today is 9/11, and we cannot but think of all the heroes of 9/11, the small people who we never hear about. And everywhere in the world, there are such people who at terrible times surprise us by their courage and resilience. We will discover then there are many of those who deserve our respect. We are counting on you, the next generation, to make people understand that there are such heroes, that there is always more than one viewpoint, one explanation, one outlook. Fletcher is a wonderful place to explore all this. We are proud that we get to know you and learn from you while you learn from us. The world is so rich in opportunities now that we, the faculty, have much to learn from you. Many of you have been to places we have never visited, and many of you have acquired expertise we do not possess. We will learn from one another, and that is a particularly extraordinary and unique aspect of American education, the interaction in and outside of class between students and faculty. Like many of the faculty, I have studied, lectured, taught as a visiting faculty in places where the hierarchy between students and faculty is so set that students sit in class silently, hour after hour, week after week, month after month. So formalized are such educational structures that the faculty does not have a clue as to what the students are thinking about. We do not have this problem at Fletcher. We cherish the openness and exchanges between faculty and students. Although our primary objective is to educate you, we also want to keep a sense of humor. We want you to keep a sense of humor about your experience here and about life in general. We want you to maintain some balance of your lives, not simply be obsessed with work or vice versa. Just balance and humor are going to make you succeed. Do not spend all of your time with people just like you. Do not forget past friends and loved ones. It is not healthy to take oneself too seriously. There is some danger in forgetting that in the rarefied atmosphere of higher education, the greatest professionals, policymakers, practitioners, and scholars are the most modest ones. We have some examples exactly here. Modesty is a highly underrated quality. And I know why. Because we are told to show confidence, because if we do not demonstrate faith in ourselves, why should others trust us? We would like to also remind you that yes, we are special. We are special faculty, student, staff in a great school like this one. But it does not mean that we cannot learn from others. What matters is respect for the contribution, ways of thinking of others, however different they are ethnically, intellectually, politically, and socially. From a faculty perspective, graduate students are particularly special because over time, graduate students become our colleagues. You become one of us, and that makes it a very special and different educational relationship. Many of you do not know it yet, but you are stuck with us for life. You will have a wonderful experience here. We offer you a very rich diversity of courses, fields, and expertise, but you will make sense of it all and pull the connections together and appreciate how much you can learn from distant parts of the world as they learn from you. Congratulations and good luck.